Hello everybody, it's Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So I had a little disruptive moment this morning and I did a whole video on it. If you didn't see that video, I scheduled it. It would have been last Sunday because I'm only scheduling videos for Sundays now. And I planned this great trek to the Kinzua Bridge State Park in Pennsylvania. That's where we're heading now. It's going to be a beautiful day today. It was a little foggy this morning, but you can see it's burning off. Although literally I gassed up 5 minutes ago and I was in dense fog. I'm on Grand Island right now. I've got to pass these guys. But on startup this morning, I had a little event. I had a fault code, I had a limp mode message, I had the blinking battery warning light, and for the first time ever, we're riding over the Niagara River right now on the South Grand Island Bridge. We've got about a 2 hour and 15 minute jaunt. I'm going to stop for breakfast in Ellicottville, but this is going to be a great video. Anyway, had a little scare this morning. If you didn't watch my last video, please watch that. It'll tell you all about it. But I'm going to pick this up when we get closer to Ellicottville and tell you a little bit about what lies ahead. So we're about to enter the quaint little village of Ellicottville. When I gassed up back on Grand Island, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but when I started up, I didn't get any fault codes thrown or anything like that, but there was a hesitation. Just a slight hesitation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have breakfast in Ellicottville, and when I finish with breakfast, when I start up, I'm going to start the camera before I start up so you can see what I'm talking about if it happens again. Just as I expected, it's real quiet today. I'm shooting this on a weekday. It's morning, it's just past 9 o'clock, so there's not much going on. I'm having breakfast at a little restaurant right over here. And we'll pick it up after breakfast, and again, I'll start up with you in my company. So we're still on 219 in New York. We're about to cross the Pennsylvania line at any point here. We just passed the little town of Limestone, New York, and I know Pennsylvania is shortly after that. And then in a few miles, looks like 6 miles from here, we'll be getting off 219 and heading the back roads through the Pennsylvania countryside and through the hills and mountains. Should be a good ride. And then we're going to Kinzua Bridge. And here we go. Welcome to Pennsylvania. And I'll explain all about the Kinzua Bridge as we get closer, and I'm going to take you up close. I'm going to take the iPhone. We're going to have to do some filming off the Spyder, but you're going to want to see the Kinzua Bridge if you haven't already seen it. Okay, we are now in the Pennsylvania hinterlands, a few miles out from Kinzua Bridge. So let me tell you about the bridge. Well, before I get into the bridge, I just want to tell you about the next couple of videos that I plan. And that is, you know, I live in Niagara Falls, New York, which is kind of between two of the Great Lakes, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. And along both of those lakes are a multitude of lighthouses. And I'm not going to circle the lakes because that would involve me going through multiple states and 2 countries and multiple provinces. So what I'm going to do is drive around a portion of, let's say, the New York State portion of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, and check out the lighthouses on the shores of that portion of the lakes. So those should make for some good videos. I'm not sure if I'll do 2 different videos for the 2 different lakes or 1, but it should make for good video. But let me tell you about the Kinzua Bridge and the Kinzua Bridge State Park. So there was this railroad trestle that crossed this big gigantic gorge in Pennsylvania. Not the Great Gorge of Pennsylvania. There is, I've not been there, but there is such a thing. But it was like a record-setting bridge. I believe at one point it was like the tallest bridge either in the world or the country. I'm not sure. I forgot the history on it, if it was part of the Pennsylvania Railroad. I mean, it was a 100-year-old, very old trestle. And it might have been the Pennsylvania Railroad. But in 2003, I believe it is, a tornado. And when you think about Pennsylvania, you don't think about Tornado Alley, right? But a tornado came through and destroyed the bridge. But the tornado was kind enough to only destroy half of the bridge. So I guess the railroad must have given up on the bridge and donated it to the state of Pennsylvania. And I'm giving you a very cursory history of it. This is not meant to be a complete history of the bridge, the park, or whatever. But anyway, the state left the wreckage from the destroyed half of the bridge right where it is. You're going to see it up close and personal. And they refurbished the surviving part of the bridge so that it could be like a pedestrian walkway. You could walk out there, and there's like a glass bottom out there so you can look down, and it gives you panoramic, awesome views of this gorge. And it's beautiful in the fall. I think I was here last fall, but I'll try to make it back for this fall if I can. But it's absolutely beautiful. And they've got a visitor center there with a really neat, kind of like a museum. And I'll take you there as well. Now, this is a Spyder channel, so I don't like to get off the Spyder and take you on these tours. But if you watch my channel enough, you know that I do it occasionally when I think it's really something you need to see. So I'm planning another ride down to the Griffith Sculpture Park, which is not that far from here, maybe an hour from here in Western New York. And I've got to get off the Spyder to show you that, for you to really enjoy that. This is one of those things. When we get to the park, I'm going to have to get off and walk you through it. But believe me, one, I'll make it short. I don't like my videos to be too long, especially the portions that are off the Spyder. And I'll edit it down so that it's just a brief part of this video. But you are going to want to see the Kinzua Bridge, not just from the top, but we're going to hike down to the bottom. We're going to get that awesome view of it from below, and we'll see the wreckage from the destroyed part of the bridge up close. Oh, awesome. A nice little family there. It's always beautiful to see. So I see some reds and yellows popping on these trees already. I'm shooting this video in, let's say, let's call it the second half of September. Not really, it's really the middle of September, not the second half. Let's call it the middle of September. But I'm surprised I see that color popping through on some of these trees, but they're premature. I plan on getting us up to the Adirondacks for another fall foliage trek. We'll get some really great video there. And this is one of many awesome twisty roads in Western Pennsylvania. I shouldn't say Western Pennsylvania, I should say Northern Pennsylvania. I think I mentioned in previous videos, but I used to live in the Johnstown area, and I was just so blessed to live there. And I had a motorcycle. I think I had a Suzuki V-Strom, and I think I had a KLR 650, different points of my visit there, my stay there. But the incredible roads that I lived like right near, I mean, roads like this, but much more hilly and windy than this, if you can believe it. I'll also mention that I did go ahead and buy another new helmet. I'm wearing the same Scorpion EXO 18960, but now I bought an extra large, and it is leaving marks on my head. They're not as pronounced, but they're there. So I'm gonna just have to deal with it. I actually did have a visit to my doctor, and he checked me out, and he said, look, things happen when people age, and this is happening to you. You have no underlying conditions you need to worry about, and just deal with it. So I keep a baseball cap on my Spyder. I take the helmet off, I put the baseball hat on, and I don't scare people away. Because if I didn't put the baseball hat on, like, I'd have people calling, I don't know if you'd call 911 or the Department of Defense or NORAD, but they would report like alien beings have landed on Earth. We're getting really close to the Kinzua Bridge. And by the way, when I am finished at the Kinzua Bridge, when I start up, I'm going to once again start up with you present. I'll have the camera on, just to see if we hear that hesitation that I heard when I gassed up this morning. And I'm just so thankful. Oh my gosh, that'll be cool. Fall festival here. Are we gonna stop? No, we're gonna just slow roll it. I know that makes some of you mad, but that's okay. I am so glad I was saying that I came today, because I really thought when I started up this morning and my dashboard lit up with the fault code, the VSS fault, the limp mode warning, the audible beep that never happened before, and the engine light blinking. I never saw that before, ever. I really thought that I was going to be riding to my dealer today, not to Kinzua Bridge, but I'm so glad I came here, because the weather is just going to be perfect for this. And the Spyder's been, you know, I've talked about this before, but the Spyder has these little gremlin issues. I should say my Spyder has had these little gremlin issues, but none of which have been really catastrophic, that like prevented me from riding, or like have been a situation where I had to leave it at the dealer for, you know, weeks on end. I know some of you have experienced that, but I'm grateful that I've not had to deal with any of that. Just pull it in here, and I'm going to pick it up. The bridge is right down there, but I'm going to pick it up with the iPhone. I'm going to take you to the visitor center, but we're going to check out the bridge first. Now, we're going to walk that way, but before we do, I just want to take you to the edge of this to check this out. I guess this is like an interactive display. The sun's too bright right now, but they have a lot of those kind of cool interactive features when you go into the museum. So the tip is just barely visible at the end there. And then we're going to walk down this pathway here that'll take us to the very bottom of that gorge. We'll get a glimpse of the end of the tip of the bridge, and there it is. We'll zoom in real quick. That's where we're going, right there. Okay, look how far we've come. And here we are at the observation deck. This is the glass bottom I was telling you about. That glass is so dirty you really can't see. You really can't see anything down there at all. But check out this view. Isn't this amazing? Look at that. Now imagine that in fall. Gold, red, yellow. And then there is the wreckage of the destroyed part of the bridge I was telling you about. I'll zoom in. See how they left it there, which is kind of cool? We're going to be walking down there. I don't know if you can see that footbridge right there. There's a couple of people down there. I can't zoom in close enough for you to see them, but they're down there. And we're going to be joining them soon. And we're going to walk right along that pathway there, amidst that wreckage. And we'll look up at this bridge from below. We'll head back there, we'll head down there now, and then we'll go into the visitor center, which I think you'll really like. So this kind of gives you some perspective where, I don't know how far down the trail we are. It's kind of an arduous trail we're hiking down, but you can see it continues on there. But isn't that beautiful? Being underneath the trestle. You can see the tip there of the platform. But I just wanted you to kind of see what it's like coming down here, as it kind of leads you through the forest to the bottom of this gorge. Okay, so we are at the bottom of the gorge right now. You can see up there kind of the destroyed part of the bridge, and you can see right there, let me just step on the other side of this tree, and you can see the observation platform we just left. We're going to cross this bridge right here over this creek, which I believe, it says no trespassing. I believe they mean off the beaten path, but I believe this is called the Kinzua Creek, which would certainly make sense. Okay, so now we're at the base of the destroyed bridge. And then, isn't that something? And I just love the fact that they left the destroyed wreckage of the bridge right where it landed. I mean, it's awesome. The fact that you can come down here and hike in these hills is just something else. Now what I'm going to do is take us back to the top, and we're going to check out that visitor center just very briefly, just a quick walkthrough. You're going to want to see it, believe me. I am just noticing that they have these kind of corrugated metal plates below the entire thing, but also below the observation deck, which explains why you can't really see anything through that glass up there. Okay, so this plaque that we're looking at before we head into the visitor center really fills in some of the gaps on some of my commentary on the ride here. Okay, let's go inside. You can see they've got the whole kind of bridge motif going on, but it's really cool when you walk in here. Look at that. Isn't that something? Look at the bridge worker, and look at that view. Isn't that something? You don't even have to go out to the end to enjoy that view. Oh, and there's a train, I guess, that runs along the circumference of the room. I don't think it's going right now. Look at the views. Let's go downstairs. Oh, this is awesome. I've been here before, but I forgot about this. And look at this, a rail car. And I guess you can sit here. We're not going to do it, but you can sit here and enjoy kind of a tutorial video. And I think you can select which video you want to watch, but we're going to move along so we can get back to the Spyder, which is what this channel is all about. They've got a little gift shop in there. Looks like every room in the house has a view of the bridge, which is a good thing. Okay, so now we're going to head back to the Spyder. Okay, the big question, will it start up with no issues, or will there be a hesitation, or will the whole thing light up? Let's see. Perfect startup. Life is good. Okay, so we're going to head back to Niagara Falls. I hope you enjoyed this visit and this ride. And again, the next couple of videos, unless something changes drastically for me, will be along Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, checking out the cool lighthouses and the Western New York portions of those two lakes. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, if you've ever been to Kinzua Bridge, or are there any other destinations you'd like me to check out? We've got a lot of destinations on the list for the fall foliage season. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to all of them, but if you've got any that I haven't been to yet, I'd love to hear about it. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, if you would subscribe, I sure would appreciate that. And until that next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.